Whether it's food security, poverty, climate change, or terrorism, the world is under danger due to various threats imposed on it by ourselves. Here we bring you the 10 most dangerous threats to the world today. It is really important that we tackle them today or face extinction. Alright, let's begin. Number 10. Lack of economic opportunity and unemployment. Growing unemployment in almost every corner of the world is an issue that directly impacts the lives of millions of people. The global average unemployment rate is 5.8%, which literally means that approximately every 20th person on this planet is unemployed. The primary reason for growing unemployment is that economic growth worldwide continues to disappoint and underperform, both in terms of levels and the degree of inclusion. This happened mostly due to geopolitics, corruption, poor governance, and various armed conflicts going on in different parts of the world. Governments need to ensure that the gains of growth are shared in an inclusive manner. Number 9. Food and water security. 85% of the world population lives in the driest half of the planet. According to a UN report on water, agriculture accounts for around 70% of global freshwater withdrawals, and it is up to 90% in some fast growing economies. Water availability is expected to decrease in many regions, yet future global agricultural water consumption alone is estimated to increase by roughly 19% by 2050. Along with that, there is the issue of poor availability of safe drinking water as well as availability of water for sanitation and hygiene. According to a UN report, around 783 million people worldwide do not have access to clean drinking water, whereas 2.4 billion people worldwide lack proper sanitation. That is why United Nations framed Goal 6 of the Sustainable Development Goals on clean water and sanitation so as to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Number 8. Government accountability, transparency, and corruption. Corruption is a form of dishonest or unethical conduct by a person entrusted with position of authority, often to acquire personal benefits. The world today is going through a phase of poor government accountability and rising cases of corruption. Political corruption occurs when an office holder or other governmental employee acts in an official capacity for personal gain. Corruption may include activities such as bribery, embezzlement, theft, fraud, extortion, blackmail, favoritism, and nepotism. The world has seen many instances of corruption recently by top government officials of countries. According to Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index, North Korea is the most corrupt country in the world, followed by Somalia, whereas Denmark is the least corrupt. Most parts of the world are still under severe impact of corruption and the resultant loopholes in government accountability. Number 7. Lack of education. Lack of education is the root cause of mass scale poverty in various parts of the world. As you can see in this education index of the world taken from the Human Development Report, the third world countries are the ones with poor education system. This clearly tells us that poverty is directly proportional to lack of education, and together both form a vicious circle forcing people into extreme poverty until and unless uplifted by the government through reforms and public spending. Number 6. Safety and security from crime and terrorism. One of the biggest concerns today are the growing instances of organized crimes and terrorist attacks. Organized crime consists of violence, counterfeiting, tax evasion, internet fraud, cyber warfare, white collar crimes, drug trafficking, and human trafficking. According to a UN drugs and crime report, the highest rate of crimes are in Africa, especially South Africa and Latin America. Terrorism over time has taken full advantages of globalization and technological advancements, becoming a threat no country can hide from. Number 5. Refugee crisis. Refugee crisis can refer to movements of large groups of displaced people who could be either internally displaced persons, refugees, or other migrants. There are various reasons for the current refugee crisis of the world, such as wars, human rights violation, environment and climate change, and economic hardship. Currently, millions of refugees are staying in various refugee camps all over the world with no or poor access to basic facilities. Number 4. Poverty. Poverty is a multifaceted concept which may include social, economic, and political elements. Absolute poverty, extreme poverty, or destitution refers to the complete lack of the means necessary to meet basic personal needs such as food, clothing, and shelter. World Bank projections suggest that global poverty may have reached 700 million or 9.6% of global population. Of these, about 347 million people lived in the sub-Saharan Africa itself. 12.9% of the world is still undernourished. Number 3. Religious conflicts. The world is divided into various religions and faith. Almost every country or region has a religious majority and one or more minorities. A religious conflict or holy war is a war primarily caused or justified by differences in religion. Violence and discrimination against religious groups by governments and rival faiths have reached new highs in all regions of the world. Religious conflicts have resulted into revolts, civil war, and even terrorism. In the modern period, debates are common over the extent to which religious, economic, or ethnic aspects of a conflict predominate in a given war. Number 2. War and armed conflicts. Almost every country today is in conflict with another country. Bipolarism saw an end with the demolition of USSR, finally putting a stop to the Cold War. But today the world has shifted towards multilateralism, leading to small groups of various countries helping each other in conflicts. In many cases, these conflicts have taken the shape of armed conflicts and war. Various ongoing wars and conflicts, such as the Syrian war, conflicts in Turkey, Yemen, Congo, South Sudan, Afghanistan, Myanmar, Ukraine, pose a serious threat to global security. Number 1. Climate change. Climate change is a change in the statistical distribution of weather patterns when that change lasts for an extended period of time. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, there is more than 95% probability that human activities over the past 50 years have warmed our planet. The increasing amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases has resulted in the rapid warming of the planet, which is going to get even worse in the coming years. This will lead to various issues such as global temperature rise, shrinking of ice sheets, glacial retreat, sea level rise, ocean acidification, and death to corals and other marine species. Climate change has already started affecting the island countries of the Pacific with rising sea levels. Not only climate change, but also other environmental issues such as air pollution, deforestation, species extinction, and soil degradation are alarming too. With the kind of threat it imposes on the entire planet and its occupants, climate change, along with other environmental damage, is definitely the most dangerous threat of modern times. These were the 10 major threats for the world. We are sure you have some more threats in your mind. So, what are you waiting for? Write them down in the comment section below. We would love to know them. Meanwhile, subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. See you in the next video.